Today we are working on an interesting project to be ready for Christmas decorations or any holiday decorations. We are taking an existing Christmas ball and crocheting over it. So we get ornaments like these here. You can make them in any color, and the way it works is that we make two identical halves and then join them over the existing bauble. And you can of course use any colors to go with your other decor. And this is also an ideal scrap yarn project. It takes very little yarn to make one of these. So let's see how it goes. The way we work this, we need two halves like this here. And then they are half sewn and half crocheted together round an existing Christmas bauble. So you need a ball like this here or something, whatever color, to make this. What we need is 3 colors of yarn, just any leftovers you have. And for this size, these are fingering or sports weight. So the yarns don't have to be exactly the same weight, but close. And then you need a hook that goes with it. I'm using a 3mm. I don't actually find a better hook over 3mm at the moment. Everything's still messed up after my move. And then you need a ready-made Christmas ball. This here is 8 centimeters wide, so it fits that. But it doesn't have to be exactly the same size either, because it's quite stretchy then, so you can stretch it to be a bit bigger, but it can't be much smaller. So if your Christmas balls are smaller, then you might want to use crochet thread then. This here is all bamboo and it's actually sports weight right through. So this is a bit bigger. The stitches and like the picots here are a bit larger and it's a bit looser. But it shows that you can use slightly different weights of yarns and it can still look nice. And of course you can use different colors. This is not a traditional Christmas color, but could be used for any style of holiday decor or any other parties. I'm going to do the other half of this and then attach it to that ball. So starting with the green. Start with a slip knot, whatever way you make it, but leave it loose. We don't want the sort of a hard lump that comes from a tight slip knot. So, and that counts as a stitch. And chain 6 altogether. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and join it into a ring with a slip stitch and tighten a bit. And then chain 5 and now we are going to have altogether 8 double crochets in this here ring. The first part of this chain counts as the first one. So open the ring and double crochet into it and chain 2 and another one. So we need 7 of these plus that they're chained, so that's 2. Always chain 2 in between and then a double crochet into the ring and so on. So keep going until you have 7 double crochets here, and then still chain 2 and insert the hook into that loop in the beginning and slip stitch there as well to close the round. And then we'll have groups of 3 double crochets with a chain in between. And then chain 3, and that will work as the first double crochet, and 2 more into that same chain space. This crochet hook isn't near as easy to crochet with as the Clover Amours that I normally use. So 3 there, counting the chains, and chain 1 and 3 into the next one. And again, after this, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into this one and into every one of these. 3 double crochets and a chain in between. Here's that, and then chain 1 and attach it to the top of those chains there with a slip knot. And I'm actually going to cut the yarn here now, and we are going to do all the rounds separate because well, after these ones the color always changes. So what you do now is to weave in these yarn ends. It's easier to work then when you don't have those. Next, this here red round. Take any of these sets of 3 and insert the hook in the first one of them. And pull the yarn, the red yarn through. And chain 1 and a single crochet in that same stitch. And a single crochet in the next one and the next one. And now to make this here sort of a, whatever you call it, V-shaped thing, insert the hook in at the top part of this here double crochet under the space we have from that chain 1 there. So just insert it directly there and take the yarn and pull it up so that it gets to the height of these other red stitches without it pulling it tight down there. And then make a single crochet there. And then again 3 single crochets, 1 into each of the double crochets, and again insert the hook sort of into that, not at the very top where you see the stitches, but a bit further down, so that it makes a sort of a long spike there. Like that. And then again the single crochets and sort of here and pull the stitch up and so on. So keep going like that until the end here, and then finish off with a slip stitch. And again I'm going to cut the yarn and finish off the yarn ends before the next round. And then next, this here yellow round. Insert your hook in the middle, in between these spikes, anywhere, and make a stitch and in chain 4. And then a double crochet in the same stitch, chain 1 and a 3rd stitch in that same one. So we're going to make groups like that there, and then chain 1 and skip in the middle of the next bit, and the same there. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 and a 3rd double crochet and chain 1, and like that into each of them, a group of 3 double crochets with a chain in between and a chain in between the groups like this. And also at the end finish it off with a slip stitch and then finish off these yarn ends. And after that we'll have a red round again. By the way, because we sort of moving this about and you're cutting the yarns and all that, make sure that all the rounds are done from the same side so that you don't have a wrong side row in the middle of there. And then Insert the hook in the middle of these three, on top of that in any of the groups, and make a stitch there. Chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch. Then chain 1 and skip to the space in between there and a double crochet there. Chain 1 and another one. Chain 1, third one, and chain 1 and a fourth one. So what we have is a group of 4 double crochets with a chain in between. Then chain 1 and skip to the middle of the next group of double crochets and a single crochet there. And then chain 1, and then we start again a group of 4 double crochets with a chain always in between. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 and the fourth one. So like this here. And then you continue the same. So chain 1 and a single crochet in the middle of the 3 yellow double crochets there. And like that, right round. Here I've gone round and I have the last chain there, and then attach it to the start with a slip stitch. And again finish off the yarn, and then after that we'll have this here round of what I have it in here in green. For the next green round, take any of the groups of 4 double crochets and insert the hook in between the first 2 like that, and take the yarn and make a single crochet, a chain, and then a single crochet in the same stitch, and then a single crochet in the next space and the third one, then chain 1, and now we'll have a half double crochet on top of the single crochet that's directly attached to that yellow bit. So a half double crochet there, and chain 1 and skip to the next group of double crochets and a single crochet in between the first and the second, and the next one and the next one. This is the round that's starting to curve this inwards, so don't be worried that it's pulling it. You'll need to let it go like that a bit. And then chain 1 and half double crochet in the next, single crochet on top of the yellow bit, and chain 1, and so on. So here 3 single crochets in these spaces, chain 1 and half double crochet in there, and chain 1 and start again, and like this right round here. And I finished off that round, and then we have one more, and it's these here loops that then attach to the other side. And what I'm going to do is I'll show how each of these is done, but then at the same time, since you will also have to do 2 identical halves, I'm showing how to attach these. And we attach them so that we attach parts of them while crocheting the last round and then the rest sewing, because otherwise you couldn't get the ball into it anymore. Attach the red yarn in the middle of this here green stitch above this here fan shaped thing, that like that there. And actually for here I take both strands and make a tight chain, and then chain 4. Chain 4. Now we're making a picot by going into the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and make a slip stitch there. So going sort of backwards, and then chain 6. And again a picot, so that we go into the 3rd chain, like backwards, and a slip stitch, and chain 2. So we get a chain like that there, and then skip in the next group of 4 above that, in the middle there, and a single crochet there, and then for the first half that you need to make, you make 8 of these. So I'll make one more. Chain 4, go into the 3rd stitch from the hook and create a picot with a slip stitch, chain 6, and a picot into the, by going into the 3rd stitch and chaining 2, and then going to the similar spot there and single crochet. So for the first one you do 8 of these right round, and after you have finished that, then you make a second one of these. Now from here I'm going on, because this is the second one, so I'm showing the join. And I'll do 2 more of these now, so that I'll first have 4 like this here. Here I have 4, and then I'll start the next one, the 5th one, first making the first picot, and then after that chain 2, just 2, and take the other half and any of the loops there, and see that they are both the right way around. I mean the wrong sides are opposite facing, and go in between these 2 picots in one of the loops and make a slip stitch there, and then continue by chaining 4, and we'll make the other picot there, and chain 2, and return to the first one here, and again go to the next group of stitches where you attach it with a single crochet. So what I'm showing here now is that it's joined there like that there, and then you do the same with the next 3. I'll do one more. Chain 4, picot, and chain 2, and then go, make sure you don't twist it around or anything. So then find right the next one of those loops on the other one, and a slip stitch there, and then chain 4, picot, and chain 2, and back to the first one, and a single crochet there. So now it's joined in 2 places, and then you continue. There's 2 more, so do that same to them. Here now I have that half of it attached like that there, and then you need to cut the yarn, but leave enough so that you don't have unnecessary yarn ends anywhere. So leave a long tail so that you can finish off sewing this around the ball with that yarn there, and finish the other yarn end that you won't need, and then take the ball you have and we start going round that. You don't need to worry yet about the exact position. I'll actually put there's like a seam in that, so I'll put that inside. So where is it now? So we're here now, and what you need to do now is to sew. If you wanted, you could attach these with a whatever pin or something, but I don't think I'll do that now. I'll manage otherwise. So what you do is then you pass the yarn in to the next loop, so halfway between those 2 picots there, and there and there, and then find the corresponding on the other side and sew these 2 together. Don't need many stitches, 2 or 3. It will definitely hold. Lost my needle. Like that, and then you go on turning it there. So then there's these here that you sew together, and then I'm leaving space so that this goes around the bit where the hanging loop is in this here ball. So I'll sew those and the last one. So you always pass the yarn just inside here to the next bit that you need to sew. And here they are all done. So that's my bauble finished. You can make many for yourself and to give to friends and family. And each one also looks slightly different depending on what color bauble you have inside it, because it shows through. I happen to have only these golden ones, but they would look lovely if you had a red one or a silver one or blue or whatever. So hope you enjoy making many of these here.